Hello to all you beautiful, gorgeous people watching. My name is Solar. Today's topic is free will. The reason why I want to get into this topic was because I had some deep inquiries or inquiry, however you say that word, a few years ago about free will, and really I was having a conversation with God consistently about free will and why would God allow me to have free will? Why I just felt like I was making some crazy choices, and I have something in my eye. I feel like my choices were just ridiculous and I was making them unconsciously based off of running programs, which we will also get into. And I was just like, why would God even allow this? Like, if you love me so much, why are you allowing me to make decisions for myself? Decisions of my own. Like, why? If all I want to do is get closer to you and you're letting me get further and further away, somehow I'm trying to reach you. I'm somehow trying to get to you, and I feel hurt and traumatized on my way there. Anyway, today I felt inspired to make a video on free will. Different topics and just different feelings have come about, and another version of having free will, right, is allowing people. Like, there's a free will that God allows you, but then there's a free will that you have to allow other people. I really dislike when people look at me and assume anything. I feel like I'm very unpredictable because I am not a typical spiritual girly. So people look at me and don't assume. I mean, maybe I do look like it. I don't know, but people start scolding me or like telling me, oh, you shouldn't do this because, or have you heard of some conspiracy theory? Or have you? And I'm like, I've heard of it all. I've researched it all. I know of it all. I'm very much not all knowing, but the majority of the things that are out there, I've been on this spiritual journey for long enough that I've probably heard about it. And I no longer like care about the conspiracies. I once did. It just, anyway, I'm not even gonna get into that. But someone was just like sending me information about certain things, and I'm like, girl, like, I know this. If you see me making certain choices, they are coming from a very deep level of self-awareness. Now, this wasn't always the case. Back in the day, I was totally running off of, like I said, old programming where I was just on autopilot. Like, I was making these decisions because it was just what I knew. But the decisions that you see me making now, even though you see me as a spiritual girly, I'm very much very dual in my nature, where I could be at the club, but I could also be in meditation during the same day. So, yeah, I've gotten that off my chest. Now I want to talk about deprogramming ourselves so that we can have proper free will. Because the free will that I was having before, that I was questioning God about, wasn't actually free will, because It was actually coming from subconscious programming because of my upbringing. So the question is, how free is your free will if you are running on old programming? And these old programmings stem from your upbringing, right? So were your parents or guardians supportive of you? Were they religious? Were they strict? Did they not let you do anything? Were they abusive? Were they absent, right? Were they even there? Were they supportive? So based on these things, that shapes our personality in a way where we start making decisions based on what we feel comfortable in. So there's two ways that can go. So somebody could have grown up in an environment that was super religious, and so they grow up to be super religious. Or they could grow up to be atheist. You can go one way or the other. Or they could grow up being, you know what, sane. Like somehow you end up sane, where you make up your own decisions. Not all of us grew up in a way that didn't affect us negatively. So I say all that to inspire the thought of, am I fully aware of why I'm making certain choices, of why I'm calling in certain relationships, certain friendships, of why this pattern keeps showing up? Why can I seem to get into what I want to get into? There are certain things that I did to deprogram myself, and the first thing was asking myself, who am I? I was in deep contemplation of me without these experiences, me without the influences of everything in life. Who am I in my core and my being? And that was when the pathway opened to me becoming more self-aware, really, because the patterns that I had, I was able to trace back. So I want to compare the subconscious to vision. Oh, can you hear the music or not? I wonder if the mic is picking up on the music. Commercial break. Wait, maybe I should turn the gain up so you can hear. Oh, actually, no, right? Because what if I make it to a point where this is super viewed and then copyright? Anyway, so there are things running in our subconscious that we are not aware of, right? Because if it's in the subconscious, then it is implied that we're not aware of it. In case you didn't know, maybe not everyone knows that. So, but you can be aware of it once you focus on it. So it's like your vision. You see everything, but you don't see it clearly until you focus on it. Like anything that I'm focusing on, I'm seeing. Everything else becomes blurry. Everything is just something else in the background. So when I asked myself this question of who am I was able to pinpoint things in the background. And I'm saying it was God-willed. I was just deep in conversation with God. So all of this, I don't think it's possible without you having that desire or that yearning to be closer to your truest nature or God. So I wanted to feel myself. And so in order for me to feel myself, I had to feel what wasn't me. So basically the patterns that were showing up, and I keep talking about these patterns, the patterns that were showing up were mimicking how I grew up feeling. Because of my upbringing, I was just recalling that into some of my experiences. And this isn't me because I asked to shed everything that isn't me. There was this one particular pattern that showed up in my relationships. And it's like, oh, this is why I keep making these choices, because of this way that I grew up. So really, this is just a think piece that I wanted to bring to light, and I think is a great thing to ponder on. Was one of the things that facilitated my journey in realizing myself. Who am I without all of these background things going on? So, breathing patterns, breathing techniques. What else did I do? Just meditating, going into nature. And I feel like everyone says this, and and it's the fucking truth. Like, it's the truth. I had a favorite tree that I would sit by, and I would be there for hours journaling, asking to be shed. And the process was painful. Oh my goodness. The shedding process is so painful because it's like taking a layer of your skin off. It's like literally feels visceral when you shed false layers of yourself. And I wasn't even the type of person that was super attached to my identity. So it wasn't even like I was holding on to anything. Some people, that's another step. Like when you're holding on to your identity, that's a whole nother thing that you have to let go of. I didn't even have to go through that. So I can't even imagine for the people that did have that. That's a whole nother step. And I really just pray on a gentle clearing for everyone watching. I don't pray for anyone to do it how I did it. And I also asked for grace throughout this awakening. I asked millions of times, maybe not millions, maybe thousands, definitely thousands of times, to be imbued in the spirit of grace, to be able to maneuver through shedding myself and not lose my freaking mind in the process, and not hurt myself or hurt anyone in the process, or just lose it. Like, I feel like a lot of people who are losing their shit could be linked to an awakening process. And I honestly pray for you to have the most gentle, most invigorating experience of yourself. And with all that, I feel complete. You can look up ways to deprogram yourself if what I said hasn't helped. And I wish you the best. I pray for the best for you.